What's going on, guys? This is Mike with Chit Chat Gaming, and today I want to talk a little bit about a big game that's out there. We are talking about none other than Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Seems to be the talk of the town right now. Another game that I love, the Ultimate Edition, the biggest Smash Bros. Game of all time here. And today I want to talk about the many different ways that you can actually play Smash Bros. Now today I'm going to be focusing mainly on like the actual Switch unit itself, the Joy-Cons, etc. and the GameCube controllers as well too. Now I did do a video a while back here showing you the different GameCube style controllers that are out there. Unfortunately, I don't have the PDP, the Hori, I don't have any of those, the Power A's. I just have the basic, the original GameCube controller, as well as the Super Smash Bros. 1 Ultimate that Nintendo just recently released. So today I want to talk about the little different ways, many different ways I play here and that I prefer as well too. So starting out first here, we're going to talk about just playing with basic Joy-Cons with two hands. I mean, what you can do is you can simply just like you're using on the handheld mode, just play with two different hands here. Now, it works. It's a little bit tricky because of the buttons being a little bit smaller. Now, I don't mind playing like this because actually I went over to my family member's house this past weekend. I just actually put the the game up on tabletop mode, the Switch in tabletop mode, and just sat back and played it like so, and I did just fine. Now if you're used to the 3DS style of actual controllers and stuff, or the actual 3DS anyways, then you're used to the smaller buttons that you have on the actual Joy-Cons here. Now it is a little bit tough, like I said, when you're in a battle it is a little bit harder, and plus of course the biggest thing is that you're looking at a smaller screen when you're in tabletop mode. But if you're playing in regular dock mode, really this way is not too bad. But it's definitely not my preferred way to play, mainly because the fact of the actual buttons being a little bit too small. Now the next way you can actually play as well too is by just playing it with the grip as well. So if you just simply slide these onto the grip, it basically turns it into a controller, which actually is not a bad option. So you can obviously just sit here and play like so. Again though, my biggest problem with this, once again, is those buttons being a little bit too small when you're actually playing. And of course with the grip it is a little more cramped, as you can see. Just like any other game goes, you're a little more cramped, but it's not bad. Of course your analog stick's a little small, but again though, if you're used to playing it on the 3DS, then you have no problem doing that as well too. And it's not a bad way to play. I much prefer this versus playing it separately. Now another way that I've been playing here, not recently, but I tried it, I cannot get the hang of it, and I really just don't like it at all. And it's playing, if you just want to basically take both controllers and play co-op, you can play sideways like this as well too. Now I did do it a little bit here and I completely suck at it. I mean, it's really cramped, the buttons being so close to the analog with a little L and R and such. You just don't have the actual feeling and all the true buttons as well too. It is really, really difficult. Like I said, the biggest thing is having the analog so close here, but it can work. So if you're at an airport, you're at a hotel, you're at a restaurant, and you're sitting next to a buddy and you want to play Smash, you can obviously hand him off one of the controllers as well as yourself, and you can play like this. It works, but again though, you're not going to still, to me personally, you're not going to get the true feeling here. But more importantly though, it does work. So those are three ways here that I do enjoy playing. Once again, it's just with the Joy-Cons themselves, on the actual Joy-Con grip, and of course sideways. Those are three ways that you can play. Now going into number 4 here is probably the preferred way that a lot of people like to play, and I was against it at first. Not really against it, but I didn't know how it was going to work. I know this is a great controller. I'm talking about the Pro controller here. I know this is a great controller. I know that it obviously works and everything here too, but actually playing this is definitely a wonderful way to play the game here. Again though, a lot of people are against it because, to my next point I'm going to get to, they prefer that Nintendo Switch or the GameCube here. They actually prefer the GameCube controller as well too when they're playing this game. But for me, the actual Pro controller is like the modern day to play. It's what most people are probably going to be playing on, is a Pro controller. And it works, guys. It definitely works. And I like it. I enjoy playing it that way. I had no problems at all. This is definitely my second preferred way to play Smash Brothers. This definitely over the grip here, because like I said, this thing's just so tight and the buttons being so small. But this definitely does work. Now, for you hardcore gamers out there, or not really hardcore gamers, more hardcore fans who are like me, who grew up with that era of Melee and such as well too. And for me personally, I just grew up with the GameCube. I love the GameCube. It's one of my favorite controllers of all time. And for me, I just love it next to the SNES and the Saturn controllers, and that is of course with the GameCube controller. So this is an original GameCube controller. I play it this way. Remember, keep in mind, if you're going to play it this way, you do have to have the GameCube adapter as well too. Or if you have the 8BitDo wireless adapter too, you can do that as well to be able to play with your GameCube controller. Now, one thing of course I love about this is just the actual controller. It just feels just right in the hands. Not only that, the big A button for Smash, of course, versus the tiny little A button you have on the actual grip and such too. It's a huge difference. And just the placement, B being your actual attack and Y being your jump, and of course having the nice big press down grabs and blocks our block is great too. And another thing too is having your C stick being your up smash or down smash, etc. Just being your actual smash is great. I love that feeling here. So for me, this right here is my preferred way to play. If I had to go with number 2, like I said, it has to definitely be the Pro Controller here. And of course, don't forget that if you don't have an original GameCube controller lying around the house, then of course Nintendo does make the brand new, which you can still get. It's getting a little harder to find here, as well as the adapter, but you can actually get the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Edition of the GameCube controller, which feels exactly the same as well too. And like I said, just the actual layout, just the actual feeling of the controller in my hands is just how I prefer to play. And when you go to most tournaments and stuff, you're going to mainly see it played this way. But the casual player, and for just of those playing, are actually going to play it most likely this way. And let's be real, most likely this way as well too. But they all work, guys. They're all ways you can play Smash. There's so many different ways. Like I mentioned before, there's other ways out there as well too. There's so many other controllers, including all the different GameCube style controllers as well too, that's out there from third parties. You got 8BitDo controllers as well. I'm sure there's probably knockoff ones, of course, too. But for me personally, if I was to give you advice or recommend something to you, I recommend first doing this here. Like I mentioned, there is a wireless version of this as well too, that's made by, I believe, PowerA. And there is an actual PowerA and other ones as well too that have a USB on it, so that way you don't need that adapter. But the GameCube controller is definitely the best way to play, in my personal opinion. Next to, like I mentioned, following would be the Pro Controller. So guys, let me know in the comment section below which way you prefer to play. What's your main way of playing Smash Brothers? Or is there a different one that I don't know about that I have not talked about here as well too, guys? So sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. As always, happy gaming and Smash.